Yo, what's going on, guys? Matty Ice here. Welcome back to another episode of Investing with Matty Ice, where I share my investing journey with you guys, specifically when it comes to income ETFs. Today, I want to talk about capital rotation and why I have sold a lot of my silver and am moving it into BTCI, my favorite income ETF. There's a very, very specific reason why I am doing that. And this is a little bit of a different style video than I normally do. I don't have my usual presentation, but that's because I want to focus on the charts, the price action, a little bit of technical analysis. I don't do a ton of that. That's not what this channel is about, but I do some basic technical analysis to identify like buy, sell opportunities, and I want to cover a couple of things with you guys. But here's what I want to start with. Comment down below if you agree with me. What an incredible time to be alive, right? Especially as an investor. I think we are witnessing the complete breakdown and reset of the current monetary system. At the very least, the breakdown of trust in that system, which is why we've seen gold and silver just rip to the upside, like massive parabolic moves. And it's just such a crazy time to be alive, right? It's really cool to see, and it creates some fantastic opportunities for us as investors. So here's the thing, guys. I have owned silver for a long time. I started buying it years ago. I think my average cost was like around $25 per ounce, and I've just held it because I think it's a cool thing to own. It's, you know, somewhat of a decent hedge against inflation. I mean, especially recently anyways. But I just think it's a cool thing to own. But obviously, recently, I have thought about taking profits, which I have done because it's just been such a massive move to the upside in the price of silver. So I sold my first batch of silver at $64 an ounce. About a week later, I sold another batch around $75 an ounce. And then just yesterday, at the time of this recording, I sold another batch, my final batch, at $90 per ounce. So I'm not selling any more silver, and that's key. I haven't sold all of my silver. I don't plan on doing that. Maybe if silver continues to skyrocket and goes to $300 an ounce, I might sell a little bit more. But right now I'm done. I think we're just, obviously it's overbought, right? So I think it's going to correct at some point. Earlier today it was down like 6%, whatever. But I think, me personally, I think we're probably close to a top. We'll have some type of correction here pretty soon. Maybe it takes off again at some point later on down the road. I don't care, though. For me, it's not about timing the market. It's not about squeezing every last dollar of profit out of the market and timing the top as best as you possibly can. For me, it's about taking profits along the way and then rotating that capital from an asset that's overbought into an asset that is oversold, all right? And we'll get into BTCI here. Actually, we'll go to the BTCI chart right now. All right, but that's why I sold it. Also sold it in stages, right? I didn't sell all of my silver all at 64. I'd kind of be a little disappointed right now if that were the case, right? But I just slowly started to exit my position over time and was able to capture a lot of the upside move there. And, you know, if it continues to go up, do I care? Not really. I bought silver at 25 and sold it at 90. I think that's, like, I'm not going to complain about that. I don't think you guys would either, right? But now, what do we do with that cash? Because I'm not selling it. I'm not selling my silver just to hold cash. That just doesn't really make sense to me. I'm selling that to rotate capital into a different asset that I think just provides an amazing long-term opportunity here. And actually, let me switch to the weekly chart of BTCI. We can see this a little bit better. Like, BTCI is at its low right now. So we have silver at its all-time high and BTCI at its all-time low. To me, that it just makes sense to rotate capital, take good profits from an asset that's done really well, it's at its all-time low, and rotate that into an asset that I believe is going to recover at some point and perform really, really well, but it's trading at a massive discount. It's a complete fire sale right now and buying in at its all-time low. And now here's the thing. Could it go lower? Yes. Actually, I think BTCI is probably going to go a little bit lower than where it's at right now, $42.13. But do I care? No, because I'm not deploying all of my capital all at once. I'm dollar cost averaging in. And actually, if I take you to my Fidelity account, you can see that in action right here. Today, January 29th, 2026, I've made 2 purchase orders here. Earlier, I did $500 at $43.35 per share. And then it continued to go down. I'm not freaking out. Actually, I love the fact that BTCI is going down more because I can buy it at an even better discount. So I bought another $1,000 at $41.80. So I'm slowly, just like I slowly sold off my position in silver, I'm slowly accumulating my position in BTCI. But am I going to complain if it goes down a couple more dollars? No. because when we look at this chart, like we're buying this amazing asset. I believe it's an amazing asset. I don't know what you guys think about BTCI. I think it's really cool. I think it's an awesome asset. I'm buying it at the very bottom. Like I don't know. I think this is like basic wealth building 101. We want to buy low and sell high, guys. That's what I did with silver. That's what I plan on doing with BTCI. Actually, I might not even ever sell BTCI because it's a cash flow machine. Right? That's another thing. I'm trading a non-income producing asset for an income producing asset as well that generates an amazing yield at the moment. And also, like, I'm not buying this just because it's cheap. All right, this is important, guys. I'm buying this because I believe in Bitcoin long term. I think Bitcoin is going to smoke every other asset over the long run, not in any given 1 or 2 years. Obviously, gold and silver has smoked Bitcoin over the last year. Nobody can dispute that. But I'm talking about long term because I'm not a trader. Like, yeah, I'm like selling and buying positions here, but I hold things for a very long time. I don't plan on I'm not trading in and out of a position. I'm here for the long run. I'm thinking 5, 10, 20 years down the road. And if I can get an asset that I believe is going to do really good, Bitcoin, which BTCI is based on, like their underlying asset is Bitcoin. They don't own spot Bitcoin. They own like the ETFs and stuff. But either way, because of the underlying asset that they own, Bitcoin, which I believe in long term, and it's super cheap right now, and it's an income producing asset, why would I not rotate some of my capital from silver into BTCI? To me, it's a no-brainer. And also, guys, this is exactly why, because I did another video explaining why I sold SPYI, and moved that into BTCI. It's literally the same idea. If we go to the SPYI chart, right here, okay, it's pretty close. I sold it pretty close to its all-time high and moved it into an asset that's at its all-time low. It's the same thing. It's all about capital rotation. It's not that I like one better than the other. I'll eventually own both again, SPYI and BTCI, and I still own silver. It's about capital rotation, right? That's all I'm doing here. Right now, the last thing I want to address is like the possibility of BTCI continuing to correct, right, and continuing to go lower. Again, I encourage that. Like I hope that happens because that just means I get more shares even cheaper, right? Because again, I'm holding this long term. But to get an idea of where BTCI could potentially go, it's difficult. Like you can't really use BTCI's chart. It's just because it's at its all-time low. I guess we could draw a trend line in here. Maybe it bounces up from there. I don't know. Again, I follow Gareth Soloway for my technical analysis, guys, over at Verified Investing. He's the GOAT when it comes to technical analysis. Highly recommend you follow him on YouTube. Great channel. But, you know, we can't, I don't know. I can't make too much sense of this particular chart and, like, get an idea of how low it's going to go. But if we look at Bitcoin, right, which is a lot of what BTCI is based on because that's the underlying asset in BTCI, we can get an idea of where it might go, at least from how much more it would decline potentially on a percentage basis. All right, so we've had this decline in Bitcoin here, and then we started to form this bear flag. We've got this bear flag in a channel and whatnot, and it's since broken down. So to me, that's why I think BTCI is actually going to come down a little bit more because Bitcoin's likely coming down from its current price. So it's at 85,000, likely going to go, like if it does continue down, where's it going to go? Well, the probabilities, the probability is that it comes down to the support level, which is between, we'll call it like a range, we'll call it like 70 to 75,000. All right, now if we were to take that percentage drop and translate that to BTCI, what does that turn into on a price level? I think the last time I ran the numbers on that, it was like between $38 and $39 per share for BTCI. So maybe that's the low. I'm not 100% sure, but this is like following the Bitcoin chart gives me an idea of how much BTCI might decline on a percentage basis. You know, maybe it's another 5 to 10%. Okay, well that's $3 to $5 or whatever on BTCI right now. Am I okay with that? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I hope that happens because that's when I can get much more aggressive, deploying more capital into an asset that is, it's on a fire sale. right now, in my opinion. So anyways, I'll go ahead and wrap up with that, guys. Would love to hear your thoughts on all of this. Drop some comments down below. Let me know what you think about this and what you are doing with your capital right now. Because, I mean, again, what a time to be alive. There's so much opportunity, so much stuff going on. That's why we have to pay attention, be strategic, know what you're doing, all right? We're not buying and selling things willy-nilly. There needs to be a plan, all right? And that's why I wanted to make this video, just to share my plan with you guys and what's working. So love to hear your feedback. Drop some comments down below. Make sure you join the free Facebook group. And yeah, I will talk to you in the next one. To your success, Matty Ice is out.